I don't know if you remember me, but I'm the dude that told you, like, I think a couple months ago I hit you. I got on here and I talked about my girlfriend who was sending people explicit videos of us on Snapchat and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about. What's going on, man?
Okay, I dropped it, bro. I finally left it, dog.
Okay, okay. Like recently?
The Sunday before last.
Okay, okay. What made you call it quits?
Alright, what made me call it quits? Alright, yo, so boom. Valentine's Day came through, my birthday came through. She was tricking on me heavy, so I low-key took advantage of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Know what was going on.
Okay.
Thinking she was doing it. I'm thinking she was doing all of that stuff for money. Because I told you, I saw, I tried going through, the Cash App and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, I'm not even going to lie to you. I looked at all these dudes that she was talking to, and I saw that one of my homegirls was following these same guys on Instagram. So I reached out to her, and I was like, yo, you know who so-and-so is? I'm just going down the list, because I have, screenshots on my phone or whatever. She's like, oh, these are people that Shorty was messing with back in high school. I'm like, for that? They not paying for no cat that they already got, you know what I'm saying? So
right.
She doing it for the love of the game, and she's out here putting my Johnson out there, like you can see me on all that, feel me? Mm-hmm. And mind you, it's not one or two dudes, it's like 10 plus dudes, you know what I'm saying?
Oh wow.
So boom, Sunday before last, right? Yeah. She came over so that Saturday night, she came over to the crib. And she was out with her family, and she ended up pulling up to the crib. She's like, oh my God, I'm so lit or whatever. I'm like, go ahead, lay down, whatever. So she go lay down. It's like 3 a.m. I end up, you feel me? I'm like, nah. I see her Snapchat blowing up.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, it's go time. Let's see what the hell going on. Feel me? Because your phone been a little quiet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I go through the phone. Boy, it's 10 times worse than when I last saw it back in January. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dog. So, boom. I go through the ChatGPT. Because she don't got no friends like that. So, feel me? I know that she be chatting to her ChatGPT. Right. So, I go through the ChatGPT. Bro, all of her confessions is on there. Bro, those mad confessions talking about, my boyfriend's so annoying, ABC, XYZ, this and this and this, and then the chat talking about some, oh my God, what do you want to do about it? And she's like, oh, but I love him so much, do. I'm like, she's on the ChatGPT cooking me up. So right. I'm over here she's over here screenshotting some of our messages, talking about some, he's asking me about my day. And I'm having a bad day already, and he's wishing me to have a good day. I'm thinking about breaking up with him. I'm like, damn. I'm like, yo, all I did was say have a good day. What the hell are you mad at me for? Feel me? And I was sure he was going through it. So I'm like, yo, the ChatGPT is spicy. Let me keep going through it. Feel me? And then this is when we get to the cheating confessions.
Okay.
She talking about some. Oh, I keep cheating on my boyfriend, but I love him so much, and he's a man of my dreams, and woody. And she's over here naming dudes that she cheated. Bro, mind you, we only been together for a year and some change.
Right.
Bro, Shorty cheated on me with 7, 8 dudes, bro. And she's over here confessing where she was doing the cheating at, YMCA, Walmart parking lot, this parking lot. I'm like, bro, I'm over here thinking you shopping. You over there getting
right.
in the parking lot.
Right.
She talking about broad daylight, all that other stuff. I'm like, bro, what? So then, boom, right? It's 3 a.m, mind you. She get a text from a dude I used to play AAU with. Right? I'm like, oh, you know this? I'm like, yo, I called, bro. I went out on my balcony. I called, bro. I'm like, yo. He's like, yo, Mike, what's good, brother? I'm like, yo, you funny as hell. He like, what you talking about? He's like, yo, I see you in Shorty phone. He like, who? I said Shorty name. He's like, what? That's your girl? I'm like, bro, she's sleeping in the bed right now. He's like, yo, you're lying.
Wow.
I'm like, yo, she never brought up anything to me about a boyfriend, whatever. So he's like, nah, bro, you gotta leave that. You gotta dead that. Bro, like, she crazy. I'm like, nigga, I'm already on timing, bro. But like, feel me? I saw you in the messages talk about some come cuddle. You looking soft as hell in her phone. Like, nah, bro, you good. And he was like, nah, bro, you gotta leave that. So boom. Anyway, she had an ex-boyfriend, right? And this is about to be mad tea. Ready?
Right.
So she had an ex-boyfriend that the dude she was messing with before me. Pretty much, this dude cheated on her with his grandfather. Tell me, like, yeah. He was cracking his grandfather. And she got, like, all the proof and evidence. Like, she has a photo album in her phone with him called Proof. Meaning, like, this is, like, all of her receipts with him. And, yo, it's crazy, right? So, I guess, and there was, like, a cousin that he was, taking advantage of. And we ended up meeting that same cousin at the bar. Yo, she pulled up on my girl talking about some, oh, you dated so-and-so? And she's like, yeah. Oh, I'm the cousin he was taking advantage of back in 2014. Blah, blah, blah. And they was chopping it up for like a good 3 hours. I was talking to random people at the bar, all that. I'm like, ooh, right? So it gets even worse, right? Apparently, she caught this ex-boyfriend watching child porn on the dark web.
You can't say that.
All right. Well, he was watching some wild stuff on that space, right? Mind you, this girl has a daughter. This girl has a daughter. And they was in their they was texting each other. She got him saved in her phone as her dental office. I'm like, why are you texting your dental office? I miss you. Feel me? And it was them. And they going back and forth talking about some, oh, I want to see each other. You know, he sent her a picture of him at a bonfire. Like, oh, you know, I wish you was here so we could crack open a cold one together. And she's like, oh, I would, but things are complicated right now. Translation, you got a boyfriend and you can't really do that so smoothly. But if you was able to go to Walmart parking lot and all that stuff so smooth, why can't you go to this dude bonfire? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
That's crazy. Right. So, whatever. It's like 5 in the morning now. I've been up the whole night. I'm mad as hell.
All right, Mike. The Moz took you down, brother. It was getting a little too long. So, the Moz had to take you down, Chief. It was getting good too, man, until we got to the grandfather. The grandfather kind of took me out of it, though. The grandfather took me out of it. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, if you were trolling, then it was a fantastic troll. Until we got to the grandfather, that's when you got too much dip on your chip. Now we're watching the Chronicles of Narnia. We're watching the Chronicles of Narnia at this point, right? It's now we're like, all right, this is fiction now. I might as well watch Blade. But the first half, the first 90%, take that on the road. I'll buy my ticket. I got notes. I do have notes. The grandfather shit, edit that out. Just strike that. You do another draft. You gotta do another draft. Take the grandfather out. And then you'll be good. But if the first half of the story was true about the girlfriend who was recording you and sending it off, yeah, that was you definitely did the right thing ending that. All right, definitely did the right thing ending that. What we got next? This is all right. Let's see what Shorty talking about. If she's still here. Yeah, the first half's entertaining. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, what can I do for you? Good. Got it. Got it. Understood. All right, let's try Yaya. Let's try Yaya. Fingers crossed. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. I just have a question about this guy that I'm in a relationship with. It's a new relationship. Like it hasn't even been a month. And
Okay.
but today he asked me for some money to help pay a bill.
Mm,
And I can't help but get the ick from that.
right.
I really like I don't know what to do. And I know I watch a lot of TikTok, and TikTok really got my mind scrambled. But like they say, when a man asks you for money, he kind of don't respect you. And I don't want to be used. I don't want to be used by this guy. Like, so I really don't know what to do.
Okay. So y'all been in a relationship for a month.
Not even. I mean, we've been talking since we've been talking for a while, but we like made it official like maybe 2-3 weeks ago.
Okay.
We've been talking for a while and stuff, but
How'd you meet him?
oh my god, I met him. I don't want to say.
Go ahead and spit it out, love. Let's hear it.
I met him. He was in the Oriana house.
Who? What?
You know what the Oriana house is? It's not prison, but it's basically like
Is it a halfway house?
office. Yes. I met him in a halfway house because my sister was talking to a guy in there, and then I met him through the guy she was talking to. So while he was in there, we was talking. And when he got out, we started going on dates and stuff, and
Okay.
all this
Here's the
stuff.
thing.
And he's in the process of getting his stuff together.
Right.
Oh my god, all the girls in the comments, oh my head.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
It's like what? Like that's part of your order. That's what you ordered.
No, it's not.
Yes, that's like getting the number one at McDonald's and being like, why they give me fries? That's part of your order. You got what a guy at a halfway house. Yes, of course he's gonna ask you for money. I'd be surprised if he didn't ask you for money.
Oh my goodness, that is not what I signed up for.
Yes, it is. You didn't read the fine print, love.
Okay, so what should I do? What's your advice? Should I start talking to him?
Well, one, you gotta really unpack what made you deal with someone in a halfway house to begin with. Your decision making needs work, love.
Yeah. I don't know what made me do that. It was supposed to be for the plot. It wasn't supposed to go this far. It was just supposed to be somebody to talk to. I wasn't dating anybody. So it was just somebody I was going to talk to and stuff. But then he got out and tried to take me serious. So
no, now you're in danger. You gonna have to give him that money. What was he in the halfway house for? Theft?
oh my god.
You thought this was a request.
Oh
This
my
won't
God,
no request. This was not a request. It's put the money in the bag. That's what you had. Put the money in the bag. That's the situation you're in. It's like one of those green dudes who but I like them shoes, bro. And they think he give them a compliment. They're like, nah, take them shoes off. That's the situation you in right now. So
I should run, y'all. I should run.
immediately, I hope that you're already striding while you're talking on this call. You should already knees to chest. You should already be hitting the full form right now. That's what we're talking about. So,
oh my God, all the ladies is telling me to run.
yeah, I wouldn't entertain this anymore, love. I'll try to get out as soon as possible.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. You take care of that. All right. Halfway house. Yikes. For the plot. Of all the plots you could have chosen, why'd you choose that one? Many plots to choose from. So many plots. Why you choose that one? Someone said she's still gonna talk to him. Yeah, cause all the laughing. She ain't like hurt enough. The money was already given, by the way. She already gave Buddy the money. This is after the fact. She didn't hit him off with some money, and she's like, shouldn't have done that. Hopefully he doesn't ask again. He already got the text written. He already got the text written for the next payment. She sent him the cash out before she joined the live. Right. That money been sent. Then left the account and everything. Oh, dog said you had to set up auto pay. He taking money out of your account like Apple. She said she didn't. Of course she said she didn't. Of course she did. Of course, right. Of course you didn't. He knocking out the park. You got to. Halfway house, prison, that's your one job. You gotta really it's your time to shine, baby. You got nothing else to add. You have no other value to offer. You better be slinging that wood. Right? Better be slinging that wood. For sure. You gotta come out the bathroom like Babe Ruth. There's wood on your shoulder. Just ready. Doing warm-ups. Doing warm-ups. Jackie Robinson out there, bitch. Just wood on the shoulder. You chewing gum. Come out the bathroom chewing gum, wood on the shoulder. She in the bed, you practicing your form. You warming up. Just warming up. That's your job. If you in the halfway house or prison. Halfway house is like, it's like you're clocking in to be an inmate. Huh. Yeah. It's like you clock in to be an inmate. Your 9 to 5 is being an inmate. And then you clock out. And you take off like the zebra print uniform or the orange jumpsuit. And you're free until you gotta clock in again. Not for fun. This isn't for fun. It's not for fun. This is mandated, actually. She found a pit bull named Princess. What? Appreciate you, Dina. Transition with rules until they say you can be free for real. Right. Right. They live in jail. It's a house after work. Okay. A step after release, but not your own house. Right. Yeah. This is a halfway house. Coach, should you change your username just in case? I think I'll be all right. I'll find a halfway house that threatening. But she should definitely watch out for herself. How do I meet people outside of dating apps? Well, Muffin, what I tend to do, or tell people, advise women, is to put themselves in static environments. Those are environments where you see the same people over and over and over again so that you can build familiarity with those people. Familiarity can open the door of attraction, right? So when you see someone every day, you can build a liking to them. You also give them more of an opportunity to approach you, right? If you go to a dynamic environment, which is defined as an environment where every time you go to that space, there's new people. If the person doesn't make a move on you right then, they'll probably never see you again. But in a static environment, maybe the first 2 or 3 times they don't say anything to you, but the 4th time they muster up the courage and approach you, right? This is why it was easier to form romantic connections in school and why everybody wants to date their coworkers, right? It's because of the static environment. So if you're out of school and you don't want to date a coworker, you have to start finding those environments that align with your interests, right? So hobbies, clubs, things of that nature. If you're into fitness, hiking community, run club, these things are static environments where you can start meeting more people. And when you are in these environments, you should not treat it as you're on a mission to find a man, but instead treat it as an opportunity to socialize, to make connections, both platonic and romantic, right? Because every platonic connection you have is an additional person who could potentially introduce you to the person you have romantic interest in, right? Dating problems are really just social problems. If you have a dating problem, you really typically have a social problem, meaning your social life is not vibrant enough. And when you start plugging yourself into these static environments, you effectively solve that problem. Okay, so that's what you should do instead of dating apps. All right, now who do we have next? This is Soul Quotes. What's going on?
Hi.
Hi.
All right. So I do have a question for you.
Sure.
So with my situation, I was with somebody for almost 4 years, and we even got engaged. So the biggest issue that I had with him is that he have a pattern where during the week we'll be good, and then on the weekend he'll find a way to start an argument with me so he can go be with his friend. So that was the biggest issue for me, and which it was a deal breaker to me because I work all week, so we don't really have time to do anything. So when the weekend come, I always did something that I've always wanted to do. Like I have my partner, we do things together. I'm not saying that every weekend we're supposed to be together,
Right.
but unless I ask him to do something, his first plan is to be with his friend. So that was the first thing. So I've communicated that to him so many times. I'm like, I want you to initiate plans. And his answer is always, well, when you ask me to do something, I'll do it, right? So it doesn't matter. So February this year, like in February, Valentine's Day, he didn't make any plans. So we ended up not doing, actually we did try to go out, but everywhere was booked. So we couldn't really do anything. So the next day we used to live together. The next day I wake up, I cook breakfast and then dinner. So by the time I'm done cooking, next thing I know, he's dressing up, getting ready to go to his friends.
Right.
So I'm like, wait, yesterday we didn't get the chance to do anything. Today, I thought you would have tried to make up for it because you didn't plan anything for Valentine's Day, but you're choosing to go be with your friends. So we end up having a huge fight. And he ended up leaving that night to go stay the night with a friend. He came back the next day, and then I tried to do a little investigation. And I find out some stuff. When I asked him about it, he lied. So long story short, when I find out the truth, I asked him, who were you with yesterday? He said he was with his friend. But I find out that his friend was not even there. His friend had a few girls over at his house. So he ended up being at his friend's house with a couple girls. I know for sure that nothing happened, but he lied about it. And he knows that one thing that I will never forgive is cheating. Like, I'm not tolerating that. So I asked him to leave, and we end up being separated for a month, 2 months going to 3 months. So he's been trying to reach out to me, his family, because again, we were engaged, and he wants to come back. So I'm a little bit on the fence with that because I'm like, do I really want to spend the rest of my life having to deal with this? Because he's not showing he's not showing that he want to change as far as making plans, as far as prioritizing me, as far as doing the things, stopping the things that he know that's hurting me. So I'm like, okay, I know it's almost 4 years. There's a lot of time in being, invested into the relationship. But then again, it's like, it's a dilemma. It's like, do I really want to throw all those years away? Or should I just choose myself and just, count my loss and just walk away because I know he's not going to change?
Okay. If he never changes, is this a relationship you could be happy in?
No.
Has he shown any signs of changing?
He has not. He has not. Like for
Okay.
example,
No, we don't have to go.
again,
We don't
with
have to go
his
into.
thing
We
is
don't
like
have to. We don't have to go into examples. It's just very yes or no question. So, if he never changes, it's not a relationship you can be happy in, and he's shown no signs of changing. Therefore, sounds like this is the man, and this is the relationship. This is how it's always going to be. And you say you don't want it that way, so that leaves you with one option, which is
to walk away.
Right.
Yeah, because last week he texted me and he's like, I want to sit down and talk. So I'm like, okay. I wanted to test him because, like I said, every weekend it's like he never have time for me on the weekend. So I purposely said, you know what? I'm gonna test him. I'm gonna tell him that I'll be, I'll have time, free time on Sunday. And then I texted him that. He never replied. He never said anything. So on Monday, early Monday morning, then he texts. I'm like, there we go. It's still the same thing. Like when it comes to the weekend, it's like it's non-negotiable for you. And the weekend, it's like this is something that's important to me. Like I don't want to be in a relationship where I'm in a relationship with you, and then on the weekend I'm spending my weekend alone while I have a partner.
mm-hmm.
So
Yep. You know what you gotta do, love. I don't have anything new for you.
I guess I just have to count my losses. It's hard when you invested so much time, energy, and then it's been years, and it's like we have all our family involved. But then again, it's like nah, I have to think about myself because this is not what I want for myself. Like,
Right. Has he been like this the entire time?
I'm sorry.
Has he been like this the entire relationship?
Somewhat, yeah.
What do you mean somewhat?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So the real question is, why have you tolerated for 4 years? Because you're
That's a
using
good
the
question.
4-year thing as if it's the main reason why you're stuck, right? But you've been stuck. So when it was
Right.
just 1 year, you couldn't use the excuse of like it's been so much time, right? So what was the first excuse you told yourself before all this time passed and you stayed in the relationship?
I don't know. I felt like I really wanted this to work, and
Why did you really want it to work?
I've had a bad experience before, and I'm like, for whatever reason, I'm like, this time around, this one's gonna work. I'm gonna do everything in my power, like everything that I can, to make sure this one works. I'm gonna be as patient as I possibly can.
What got you to that mindset? So what was your past experience that has you now thinking this way?
Well, my experience before that, it was like a very long-term relationship, and I feel like I didn't tolerate much in that previous relationship. I was very strict, so that's why in this one I'm like, let me be a little bit more laid back and more patient. Maybe eventually that
Why did you feel the need to change that? So in what way were you not tolerating anything?
So if if there is any disrespect, like I will stand my ground a little bit more. In the previous relationship, I will stand my ground a little bit more.
In what way?
For example, if I have to take my distance, not talking, when he does something that bothers me, whatever, I'll keep my distance from him. I will withhold certain things just so he can see, like, I was not playing.
No.
I didn't have a lot of patience with him as far as the things that he will do.
So how long was that relationship?
It was a long-term relationship. We had kids, so that's one of the main reason why I did not leave soon. It was almost 8 years.
Okay. How did it
We had
how did it
kids.
how did it end?
I'm sorry.
How did it end?
Well, we had an agreement, and he left, and he went to his mom's house, and he was expecting me to come and get him, and little did he know that was it for me. So he had beg and beg and beg for me to come back, and I'm like, nope, that's it, we done. I'm not coming back. So the main reason why I really stayed was because we had kids, and
Okay.
financially I was not ready.
Gotcha.
So
But
when he
why
left,
why change your behavior after that relationship?
I just didn't want to do another fail. I just didn't want to go through another failed relationship.
Okay.
So it's like, I don't know. I'm like, this one did not work. The next one, for sure, I'm gonna do everything I can for it to work. So having that mindset, I was more tolerant, and the relationship that I had recently, on certain things that I know for sure that I would not tolerate. But the more that I tolerate things from him, the more he's taking it as, okay, you know what? It doesn't bother you as much, because if you
Let's
keep
go
taking
back.
it,
Let's go back to the previous relationship. Why did that one end? The previous relationship.
mm, the previous relationship, he, I don't think he really cared much about me, and he was a little bit abusive. So
Abusive.
I would say
In what way?
abusive in the sense that, not like with me physically, but like when we have an argument, he will break things and things like that. So he would say abusive things. So again, like I said, being that I was not financially ready to leave, so I stayed as much as I can. And when the time came, he left. And that was it.
How long ago did that relationship end?
It ended 4 years ago.
4 years ago. So you immediately hopped in this relationship.
I'm sorry, I lied. It ended in 2019, actually.
And it's 7 years ago.
Yeah, 2019.
Okay. How long were you single between that relationship and this relationship?
I'll say for the most part I was single until I meet
How long were
ex-fiance.
how long were you single between that relationship and this current relationship?
I'll say 3 years.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay.
3 years.
3 years. All right. So and you didn't date anyone else in that 3 year span?
No, not really. I talked to people, but like have like date, not really.
Okay.
It was more so like if I need to go out with my friend, I do that.
How'd you meet?
My kids sometime.
How'd you meet this guy?
I went to a restaurant that I like, a local restaurant, and we exchanged numbers because
Be honest with you, love. I don't believe you. I believe that you hopped from that relationship to this relationship, and the reason why you're trying to stay
no,
in this one is because this was the backup
I
plan.
didn't.
Okay.
I didn't
You
because
sure?
my previous relationship ended in 2019, and then I met this guy in end of 2022.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm
Yes.
telling you, that's what my gut is going. That's what your
I
voice.
promise.
That's what your
I
voice is
promise.
giving. Your voice is giving. I jumped from that one to this one. I want this one to really work because.
I promise you.
All right. Okay.
2019, I ended the previous relationship, and I was single for the most time. I went out with my friend all the time, and I remember I came back. I actually went on a trip to the Bahamas, and then came back right after my birthday. Then I met this guy in the end of 2022, like
All right.
November
I'm
2022.
choosing to believe you because you magically got very certain about dates all of a sudden. You were very confused at first. Okay, let's go with your story. So you want this relationship to work, and you've been wanting it to work. There's a lot of problems all up and down your story, love. you were tolerating things in the previous relationship as well, right? So you were tolerating things in the previous relationship. I understand for good reason, right? But you still were tolerating poor treatment.
Right.
In this one, you're tolerating poor treatment. So there is an element of low self esteem with you, right? Because it's like you're not feeling like you're deserving of better treatment, and your way of trying to get better treatment is you're defaulting to what they call protest behaviors. It's kind of like manipulation, right? Instead of just removing yourself from the situation. I was telling a woman that I talked to today on coaching call how boundaries work. Like, boundaries are not for you to keep communicating what the problem is. It's for you to remove yourself. That's what a boundary is. If somebody keeps crossing it, you just simply remove the threat, right? If you go to Target and you shoplift and you steal from Target, Target isn't going to pull you to the side and be like, you shouldn't do that. I don't ever want to see you doing that again. No, you're getting locked up. They're removing the threat. That's their boundary. They're removing the threat from their store, right? This analogy, your Target. You have to remove the threat when you set boundaries, not constantly communicate the boundary, not constantly talk about it. It's you simply remove yourself, right? So you are dealing with a man who's starting fights so he can go hang out with his friends. That's weird. You can like set an alarm on your phone. You know when a fight is going to happen because he want to go out and hang out with the boys. That's weird. That's very weird behavior, right? He can't just go out with his friends. He has to start a fight first. Yeah, should have been going out of this one. Should have been going out of this one. There's no saving this relationship because you're dealing with a person who's not acting in good faith. You can be with a person and problem solve if they're acting in good faith and they just lack the tools and the skill set to elevate the dynamic. He's acting in bad faith. He's manipulating you, right? So this is a situation a person who loves themselves would leave.
True.
Okay? There's no changing this situation. Stay here, this is what you get.
Yeah.
Okay?
I get it. So, because it's been almost 3 months, and this time around, I'm like, yeah, it's I've invested so much, but I'd rather be alone, like, because financially, I'm stable enough to take care of myself and my kids, so there's
Good.
really no needs.
Okay.
So I was not with him for financial gain. I wanted a good partner, which I'm not getting from him.
Right.
So I'd rather be alone, and it is what it is, just at least I know that I'm at peace. I don't have to worry about working on eggshelf every weekend because I know a fight's gonna start,
Right. Yeah. So just go ahead and cut this off and do the self work, heal, and prepare yourself for the next person. Right. But you gotta do the self work though, right? Because if you don't, you're just gonna find the same energy in a different vessel. All right.
Yes. Thank you.
No problem, love. You take care. All right. Something was missing from that story. I can feel it. I can feel it. I'm treating the YouTube stream like it's The Office, by the way. So I'll cut and I'll look at the camera like I'm Jim Halpert. So if y'all want to have a little fun treat, also look at the YouTube stream. Yeah, I could be wrong. I'm not omniscient. Could be wrong. But yeah, the tone of the voice was throwing me off. And the whole I don't know, till immediately I'm certain. I could hear her do the math and be like, 4 years. It's like 4 years ago. I don't see how you would make that mistake. You wanna know how I know you wouldn't make that mistake? Because you know the current relationship is 4 years long. You know your current relationship is 4 years long. So if I ask you how long ago was the previous relationship, why would 4 come out of your mouth? And you saw me clock it, and you immediately, 19. So I was asking like fast questions to get her to like answer quickly. I was like, so how much time passed after that? Like between the relationships to see if she can get the math real quick. And then she like kind of rambled for a bit and had to press her on it. She was like, 3. You did that math. You did the head math real quick. We were talking to get that head math in. You know what's going on here? I think you hopped from one relationship to the next relationship. That's what I think. I think you didn't leave the previous relationship because you couldn't. Found this dude, probably sweet talked you, and you hopped. This was your out. This was your exit. You hopped from that relationship to this relationship, but he pulled the wool over your eyes, right? He lied to you. He manipulated you. That's why you stayed so long, because you didn't have a backup plan. He was the backup plan, right? And you want to know the biggest evidence? That last couple of lines she said. Remember what people ping on. If y'all remember the conversation we had about pinging. Why did she feel the need to say I was not with him for financial gain? Why? Because I want to, Nautica. Shut the hell up. Why do you think she felt the need to say she was not with him for financial gain? I didn't make that accusation. Why are you defending that? Didn't even imply it. That's right, Super. Didn't even imply that was the situation. So why are you defending that? Don't come over here lying to me. I'm going to figure it out. Don't come over here lying to me. You try to get ahead of it. You try to get ahead of it. Even when I watched Dr. House, I wanted to be a doctor until I figured out that wasn't a real profession. I was like, oh, diagnosticians aren't real? I be telling y'all got to pay attention to people, man. This shit ain't that complicated. I'm like, who the fuck said anything about financial gain? Remember that skit with Dave Chappelle? Who said something about, oh, bitch, you cooking? Oh. Ah, boy. Y'all amuse me. That's what I think happened. That's what I think happened. I could be wrong again. I could be wrong. But that, defending that, that's the tale. That is the tale. And what Shorty said, I forgot what her name in the chat. The tone tells you a lot. People, that tone tells you a lot. That tone tells you a lot. Huh? Yeah. That's why I asked her also, like, how long has this been happening? Because she was like, well, I'm staying because I've invested so much. Well, has he always been that way? Yes. Okay. Well, then what was your first reason for staying? Because if he was like that year one, you can't say I was staying because I've already invested so much. You hadn't invested a lot yet. So what was the real reason for staying? Because that was the backup plan. The backup plan is now failing. I'm not going to judge y'all for y'all situations, by the way. I'm not judging you. Whatever the situation is, I'm going to help you navigate it. But you got to be honest. You got to be honest. Okay? Got to be honest. Again, could be wrong. Let's put a little qualifier there. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. Hey, could be wrong. I'm just saying. When the pieces don't add up, I get very curious. Very curious. The chat will judge, but the coach will not. Yeah, I'm not going to judge any of y'all about what y'all got going on. But unless it's with kids, I don't fuck with that. That's not get judgy. When it's kids, remember Buddy called in? He was like, I left my son. Hang up on the mods. Get him out of here. What do you mean you left his son? What do you mean you left your son, bro? Get the fuck out of here. How long you staying on live? Till 11. That's the only thing I really get judgy on, is when children are involved. I don't like that. We don't like that. You gotta get it together when you reproduce. You know, All right. For any of you thinking about coming up and calling in, I promise you, I'm very nice. Just don't lie to me, right? That's all. Just don't lie to me. Had a great date experience on my recent trip in the Bahamas. Nice, Mr. O'Neill. Change your profile pic and everything. Look at you. Check you out. Is this future wifey? Future wifey. I take it. Mr. O. Yay or nay? I told you it's a Turk's problem. No, I told you it was a Turk's problem. I told you your problem was mainly geographic. It's geographic and partially genetic. But you can solve both of those problems, Mr. O'Neill. Maybe she's already video called me 3 times a day. Okay. No favors, right? We haven't given any favors. This is purely, Danny called it. This is purely interest. I take it. No favors. Okay, good. No favors. We love to see that. We don't want to see anyone getting taken advantage of. All right. Now, who else has any questions? If you have a question pertaining to dating and relationships, and you're going to be honest, you can request up and I'll solve your problem. Again, that's how I'm treating the YouTube stream. I'm only going to look at it if it's The Office moment. I'm Jim Halpert right now. Whenever I hear some goofy shit, I'm cutting to the camera. This is the camera. I do that in real life, by the way. Anybody else do that? In real life, how you talking to someone, they'll say some goofy shit and I'll look to the side like the camera's there. That is the audience. And I go back to the experience. Oh, O-Dog and O'Neill gonna come together and procreate. So yes, if y'all want to see The Office cut, YouTube, link in bio for YouTube. Watch the streams. We replay these lives whenever I do them in the house. Okay. Okay. What other questions do we have? Again, you can put your question in the chat or you can request up. Either or. Either or. We are working on the anxiousness too. We got to lock in. Anxiousness is a hard one, man. Who here is anxious? Okay. Put a 1 in the chat if you're anxiously attached. Put a 2 in the chat if you're avoidant. Put a 3 if you're fearful avoidant. Put a 4 if you're secure. Let's see what the room is looking like. 1 for anxious, 2 for avoidant, 3 for fearful avoidant, 4 for secure. A lot of anxious folk. Okay. Only 1 number, please. I promise you you're not secure and avoidant. It doesn't work like that. Okay. All right. A lot of 1s. Okay. We got some fearful avoidance. Super, a 3 would suffice. 3. Okay. Why do y'all think there's mostly 1s? Why do y'all think there's mostly anxious people here? I'm curious. Zion is really AI. He said 13. Right. Why do y'all think there's mostly anxious people here? I'm curious as to what y'all's thought process is on that. Why are there mostly anxious people? Because you've been helping me. Trust issues. You ever been? Well, I know what causes anxiousness. I'm saying, why are there mostly anxious people here? Okay, bad dating experience. Anxious seek more help because people will be leaving them. Because people be leaving them is hilarious. Because avoidance or avoiding, need to be with someone not fully healing. It's a good answer. Trying to get all the info to satisfy overthinking. Okay. Anxious people more likely to learn and grow if it breaks stage 1 to 2. Okay. Fear of abandonment because avoidance don't work on themselves. Okay. Yep. Okay. So yeah, anxious people don't like being alone. So if there is a live helping them with dating, they're going to come. Also, they are more introspective than the other types. They're most likely to heal, most likely to become secure. That's why there's mostly anxious people here. Come on, Sasha, you're killing the vibe. Man, we're talking about attachment styles. How long to date until you get engaged? Whatever, when he asks. When he asks. Well, that's good to hear. I'm in the healing stage of it. Don't get ahead. Don't put the cart before the horse. Still quite the experience. Not the best experience. Listen, anxious and avoidant. I get why the avoidant attached gets the bad rap. We all understand that. Okay? Super villains, Disney villains, Scar and Lion King. Okay? I get it. But what if I were to tell you anxious people and avoidant people both cause damage, just in different ways? Avoidants really do believe they're secure, right? The anxious don't believe they're the problem because they just want to give love, right? Well, here's the thing. Anxious people do assume they're the problem a lot of the time. That's why they're more likely to go to therapy and get help, right? Avoidant people assume everybody else is the problem. Avoidant person is like, I'm not the problem. I'm certainly not the problem. I don't bother you. How can I be the problem? I want peace. How can I be the problem? You don't always want to fight. That's the avoidant logic, right? But here's the thing. An anxious person and an avoidant person are equally draining. The avoidant person is draining because you spend so much energy trying to figure them out. Because they're aloof, because they're distant, because they don't communicate, because they don't open themselves up and show any kind of vulnerability. They drain you because you spend so much time trying to figure out what the fuck is going on with this person. What is the problem? The anxious person is draining because they don't believe shit. You have to constantly prove to them that you want them. You have to constantly do it, right? So the avoidant person is draining in that way. The anxious person is draining because of the constant need for reassurance. It doesn't land. Even if you do reassure them, it's only a few more hours before they are questioning things again. Now you need more proof. It's a endless pit, right? So they're draining in different ways. If one causes more problems, I would say it's the avoidant person. I give you that. The avoidant person, I think, is more damaging. But the anxious person and the avoidant person are both draining. And anxious people aren't as loving as anxious people have. And this is coming from someone who leans anxious. So I know, right? Anxious people will say things. Like I had a client I was talking to. And I told y'all this story, right? Because this was a recent client. He's anxious. His girl's anxious. So two anxious people in the relationship, right? And they were displaying their anxiety differently. For her, it was more quantitative. For him, it was more qualitative. What I mean by that is she wanted him to talk to her more. And he acquiesced, but he wanted payment for acquiescing. So when he was talking to her more, he would say things like, I miss you. When he said things like, I missed you, he got activated because she would ignore him saying that, I missed you. So now he's activated. Now he wants to engage in protest behavior and act out, right? So she wanted quantity and reassurance. He wanted quality and reassurance. So he wanted her to, but this is the anxious thing, right? Him saying, I miss you wasn't because he actually missed her. He didn't really miss her. He said, I miss you just to see what she would say back. He wanted her to say that she misses him too. Avoiding people don't move like that. That's an anxious person thing. So that whole loving thing is not so loving. It is anxiety. It's not real. Neither party is authentic. The avoidant person is not. Both parties struggle with vulnerability. Anxious people struggle with vulnerability, and avoidant people struggle with vulnerability. You think the anxious person is being vulnerable. Like if you looked at him saying, I miss you, you think that's vulnerable. It's not him being vulnerable. It was him trying to get her to say something that he wanted to hear. So it's not a good thing to have either or. You do need to be trying to heal this shit. Except I do miss her when I say it, though. Who is her, Mr. O'Neill? The one you just met in the Bahamas? That ain't the one you're talking about, right? The one you just met at the Bahamas? Oh, just as an example. Okay, I was about to say. Even Hannah said, here we go. They're tired of your shit, Mr. O'Neill. Tired of it. Hold on. I meant to look at the camera. Say it again, Mr. O'Neill. Give me my line. Line? I do miss her, though. All right. I'm glad to see that Mr. O'Neill was just joking there. He wasn't being serious. When I think back to my anxious days, I'm trying to think of what ways I was protesting. I definitely engaged in protest behavior. There was definitely a degree of passive aggression in my earlier 20s. Yeah, so there were some protest behaviors. And nothing crazy though. Bella, if you want to join, you can hit the button at the bottom of the screen with the blue and pink person. That will make your request up and I will accept it. So just hit that button and I will accept it. Okay, we got Bella. All right, let's see what Bella's talking about. Hello.
Hi, hello, can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Great, love. What can I do for you?
Okay, so I guess I kind of wanted to give you a little backstory for my question. But basically, I'm 21 and I've been dating my boyfriend. We're actually gonna hit a year this Sunday. Mm-hmm. So we've been dating for a while now, but I've known him for 2 years now in college. So basically what had happened was that I was in a long-term relationship before I got with him. Okay. We were together for 3 years. He cheated on me. Ooh. And I do want to take accountability that I didn't let myself heal the proper way. So it passed almost a year later, and then I met the guy that I'm dating now. Okay. So with our relationship, it was a lot of me being very insecure. But I guess at that point, I didn't know I was insecure, but I definitely knew I was still very scared for this relationship because since I just got cheated on, I didn't have any trust with my new partner. Mm-hmm. Although he didn't really do much for me to lose that trust. It was just for my past trauma and my wounds basically. Okay. So I was constantly always if he wouldn't respond to me fast, I would make up scenarios oh, he's cheating on me. If he wouldn't keep me updated on where he was going, I would freak out. And mind you, I had his location at that time, so it's I really had no reason to trip. But since I didn't heal the proper way, I was always so cautious about what he was doing. And so it got to the point where whenever we would argue, I would be okay, this is not for me, and I would always try to run away and break up. So I'm constantly always trying to break up with him, and then he would convince me to stay. Mm-hmm. And then it would be that. So it was an ongoing cycle of me trying to run away from him. And he would tell me that he started to feel like insecure, and like as a man he didn't feel like he was worth it, because I'd always like compare him. Like I would be like, oh, well, it's because you don't do this as often, and I've gotten treated better than this. So as a man, like I was like basically giving him more insecurities. And so for our like 8 months or 9 months, he like finally got like emotionally drained, and he couldn't like handle it anymore. So what we ended up doing was that, because he didn't know, he knew he had to like run away from it or like take a break, because it was just a lot for him. And I knew that at that moment I didn't know how to change or become a better partner for him. So we both decided like, okay, let's just take a break. Like, let's just end it right now. So we took like a whole month of us like breaking up, and he reached out back to me saying that like he wanted to basically see how I'm at the moment. So I told him that I was seeking therapy, and I finally realized like the way that I was treating him was not okay. And I, at that point, like before we broke up, I would never take accountability, because I was like so like I want to use the proper way, but like I guess ignorant. There you go. Like I was so ignorant of what I was doing because I was so focused on me. I wasn't paying attention to how I was treating him.
Right.
And now I realized that like the way I was treating him was not okay.
Right.
So whenever he realized that I was going to therapy and I finally was taking accountability, he was like, okay, let's try this again. So we've been trying to like, try this again. It's been a month now, almost 2 months. And I've noticed that he's very distant now, and we talked about it, and he said that he's just very afraid of me now. And that he's just like, he just reacts to trying to stay distant because he's like scared of the way that I would react. Because whenever we would like argue, I would insult him. And at that moment, I didn't know what I was doing because I was so angry that like I would just let everything come out of my mouth, even though I didn't mean it at that time. And so like as a man, obviously like he would take that, and his like love of affirmation, or I guess like, yeah, his love language is like words of affirmation. So me over here calling him like stupid, or that like it's so hard for me to love him or be in this relationship, it obviously like made him feel some type of way.
Right.
So now that we're trying again, I've noticed that he's been very distant. He doesn't like say I love you first anymore. Like he stopped doing the small little things like calling me babe, or like we haven't really gotten on dates as much anymore. Even whenever we go to school, we used to see each other every single day, and now it's like we're on the same campus, and there's days where I don't even see him anymore. And so he's very like distant now. And I'm trying to understand where he's coming from, because I know like if I was in his shoes, knowing like how bad I hurt him, like of course he would be afraid of me, and of course he's going to want to keep his distance.
Right.
But then on my side, it's kind of like, well, I'm trying to do my part. I'm putting in my 2 cents. And he's not really putting his 2 cents anymore. Like he's not putting the effort that needs to, like happen for our relationship to work again. So it's just kind of like I'm stuck in a loop, because now I know what I need to fix and what I need to do. But now he's like not really letting me show him what I know, because he's so afraid that I'm going to go back to like my old, like, my old ways basically.
Gotcha.
Which I understand. But me is like, how am I able to deal with that and be patient with him? Because he keeps telling me that he realizes it. He's just very like, oh, like, it's just going to need time. Like,
Right.
just give me time and I'll eventually ease back with you.
Right.
But at the moment, he's just like very scared and doesn't
Right.
know how to love me back. And I've told him that I need at least something so that I can hold on to it, so that I can keep going and know that at the end of the day, this is going to be worth it. But he says that at the moment, he can't show me love as much as like he used to.
Right. This is going to be a challenging one, love. This is going to be a challenging one for sure. How long have y'all been back together?
Almost 2 months. So it's
Okay.
been a whole full month, and we were almost into 2.
Okay. And what are some things that used to like make y'all fight to the degree to where you used to say harmful things to him?
I think it was just a lot of like misunderstanding. Like he would make me feel some type of way, and whenever I would try to tell him how he made me feel, he wouldn't really like understand. And then that's whenever I would like be like, bro, like you're so stupid. How did you not know that this is how it made me feel?
Give me an example of that.
So like I guess maybe like at that time I was like very toxic, so it would kind of be like if I found out that he was like texting this one specific girl or he interacted with the girl, like not like any girl, but it was like this one specific girl that I knew because he used to already mess with her, and she was like I guess my friend too. So he knew that I just felt very uncomfortable with that specific girl because of the history that she had like around campus. She was just like a really well-known girl. So whenever I would find out that like he would still have interactions with her, although I already explained it to him and I was like, hey, I feel very uncomfortable you talking to her because y'all did already had like a little thing going on before us. Like I would appreciate you like if you just don't talk to her or interact with her because she's very friendly. So she would go up to him. But obviously, I'm not gonna get mad at the girl. I'm gonna get mad at like my boyfriend because he's letting it happen. Like he's letting those boundaries cross.
Right.
But whenever I would explain it to him, I didn't really know how to communicate well. So I would, instead of telling him like in a nicer way, I would just kind of go off on him, and I would be very disrespectful. And so now, like on his part, if someone's yelling at you, how are you able to listen the right way and give them the reassurance they need if they're coming at you really strong? So he would always tell me like, well, it's not like what you say, it's the way you say it, which was my tone. And well, whenever I'm like furious, yeah, I can get loud and I can come as like me insulting someone. And that's what I'm trying to fix now that I'm going to therapy. But like at that moment, like that's what he was taking it on. So I feel like that's why he would really not, like, he would be very misunderstand. Like, he wouldn't understand me at that point because, like, I was yelling at him.
Right.
So it would be, like, arguments like that.
Okay. And this is the only type of situation where you would start yelling at him, or are there other situations?
Yeah, it would just be whenever we were arguing because since I go to therapy now, I've, like, realized that it all kind of goes back to, like, trauma and childhood trauma as well. And my mom would always like yell at us, so I feel like that's just kind of what I was used to, just like yelling. And whenever like he would have like something bothering him, he wouldn't yell at me. Like he's very gentle, and that's what I'm trying to practice now, to come in a way that I can be very gentle towards him. So I feel like that's the only really time I would like really yell at him or get aggressive, because I would feel like disrespected, and I don't really take disrespect. I would be like, why would you do that?
Gotcha.
And so now, instead of me explaining how I would feel, I would make him feel bad and like insult him.
Gotcha. And how have you worked on your delivery since you've been in therapy?
So like for arguments,
Mm-hmm.
I've tried to listen more than like speak, because I realized that like I would always cut him off. Like whenever he would explain himself, like I would cut him off, and then like whenever I hear something that I didn't like, I would automatically cut him off, and he hated that. He said that I need to like let him finish the full story. So I was already like having trouble with that. So now I am trying to stay quiet and try to listen from his part instead of trying to just find like an answer to defend myself. I'm trying to like hear where he's coming from, and I want to hear his story. And I make sure I like come off as like a really soft way now, instead of just attacking him, and like wording my words the right way too. So that's what I've been trying to like fix, which it has been hard because I haven't been used to this. But like now that like I'm realizing what I could have changed, I'm doing that now. So whenever we're arguing, like,
so have y'all had any kind of conflict since y'all been back together?
yes.
Have your tools been working?
Sorry?
Have your tools been working?
I feel like to an extent, like it works, and then he does something that triggers me, and then I catch myself again, like getting irritated, and then I'm a little like, okay, I'm cutting him off again. And then he's like, hey, like, you're not letting me speak. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right, I'm sorry. And then I let him talk. Because I've noticed that whenever I cut him off, he shuts down. And he's like, okay, I just don't want to say anything anymore. And that's where I'm like, oh my goodness, like, okay, I did it again. And I apologize for it.
Okay, you're making progress. Don't be too hard on yourself. It's like progress isn't linear, right? It's not like this. It's more like that, right? So you're making progress, so you're catching it. So like you're being aware now. Awareness is the first step. So now you're catching yourself doing it, right? So you're making progress, okay? So the next step is going to be you feeling, like noticing when your body is reacting when it's starting to get hot, you can start to feel it in your chest. Your breathing becomes more shallow.
Yeah.
You probably shouldn't talk at all when you're in that state.
Okay.
You probably shouldn't have any conversation. Like, look up after this conversation. Look up emotional regulation. Right. Learn how to.
Emotional regulation.
Yeah, emotional regulation,
Okay.
nervous system regulation. Learn how to regulate yourself. Try not to have any kind of conflict or high stakes conversations when you are dysregulated. Dysregulated means your body is reacting in a way that is sending signals that you're about to go off.
Okay.
You're
Yeah,
trying to,
I
like,
definitely feel that.
when you do that, when your body responds that way, it turns the brain off. That part of your
Okay.
brain that you're using to be calm and to think, it shuts that off. And then you just become reactive, right? So
Yeah.
you're doing it in the hard way, which is trying to allow yourself to be activated, but then, like, consciously keep an eye on it. That's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard. It's better for you to look at the somatic signals, right? Look at how your body is responding. Notice when you're about to get set off, and then be like, okay, this is a sign that I can't have this conversation right now.
Okay.
So let's take a breather and let's come back to it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what is going on. So your way of beating him down made him lose safety in the connection.
Yeah.
So now he is conditioned to, he feels anxiety when things are about to, like, set off, because he's been conditioned that you're going to come and be harsh to him, right?
Yeah.
The only way out of this is for you to consistently give safety.
Okay.
Basically, over time, you consistently do the opposite of what you've been doing. That doesn't mean don't have any conflict or anything like that. What that does mean is you're not calling him names or you're not shouting at him,
Okay. Yeah.
right? If you're consistently doing that, over time, you will build up enough evidence in his mind and his nervous system that will allow him to ease back into the connection.
Okay.
But the hard thing is, you're saying that it's hard for you to do that because he's not leaning into the connection, right? That's what makes this difficult, because you're going to have to do this without getting the signals from him first.
Okay.
So you're just going to have to show up like this. And there's no telling how long it can take. This is a long game. It may be another 2 or 3 months, right? Because every time you start shouting and then start name calling, you pretty much reset the clock.
Yeah. You're right.
He needs consistency of that being different to garner enough evidence to show that, okay, you actually are moving differently in the connection. Once he gets that evidence, his nervous system relaxes, and then he can kind of lean back into the connection. It sounds like he wants to, it's just he's on edge.
Yeah, because he keeps telling me that, like, he tells me that with time, he would naturally come back, because he says that he still loves me. It's just really hard to show me that. And I feel like in my part, it's like I'm trying to understand him, but whenever I'm not seeing no effort back, then I'm like, okay, well, maybe should I pull back or should I keep going? And I would constantly bring it up. Like, I think we've had like 3 conversations about this already, where I'm like,
Listen,
hey,
when a relationship goes downhill, it takes a lot more effort. It takes a lot more effort to reverse that trajectory. It's scientific, right? The momentum is, you have negative momentum is falling. So you have to counteract gravity and put a lot more effort in order for you to reverse the trajectory, right? So you're going to have to give a Herculean amount of effort to reverse the trajectory.
okay, so basically, like, put more effort.
Yeah, it's going to take real work. You're treating it like you're in a sign where you're coasting. You're not coasting here. You're trying to reverse the trajectory. That's going to require.
What does coasting mean?
Say it again.
What does coasting mean?
Coasting means, like, you're just coasting along, right? You're not really putting any effort, right? So, you're trying to reverse the trajectory. That means a lot of energy is going to be required to reverse the trajectory.
Okay.
A lot of energy is going to be required to stop something from falling, and not only stop it from falling, but to push it back up, right? That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to stop the relationship from falling and then push it back up. so for a period of time, it's going to require a lot more energy on your end.
Okay.
And you
that
can't
makes sense.
expect it on his end because one, y'all are very young. Y'all barely have the skills to do this shit, right?
Yeah.
So kudos for you for doing the work. I want to commend you on this as well. Like, yes, did you kind of cause this? Sure. But also,
Yeah.
I'm sure he had his part as well. But he
Yeah.
certainly didn't help it. But also, you're taking accountability. You're
Thank
taking
you, yeah.
accountability. You're trying to see where you went wrong. I've said this before. The best you're ever going to get partner-wise is someone who is willing to see themselves and where they went wrong and do their best to solve it. That's the best you're going to get. So right
Yeah.
now, what you're doing is making you one of the best people to be with.
Oh my goodness, thank
And
you
you're
so much. I
and you're
really
21.
needed that.
Right, and you're 21. You're 21.
Yeah.
Understand? I talk to people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. They ain't doing what you're doing.
Mhm.
Right? So you're doing the work that most people are afraid of doing, and you're 21. This is hard right now, but you stay on this path, you're out of there. There'll be no problem. Okay?
Okay, yeah, because I kind of also wanted it from like a male's perspective because my therapist is a woman, but I'm
Okay.
like, I need to see it from like a guy because I know whenever like men's like, whenever they feel like they're not worth it or like, you
Yeah.
know, they're like very insecure, I
Right.
want to know what they like tend to do, you know, like I wanted to hear from like a men's perspective. And well, my boyfriend keeps telling me like it's gonna take time, it's gonna take time.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, yes, he's right, but then also like, you know, what if he's just like saying that as an excuse?
Right.
But
So
honestly,
to protect yourself, give yourself a timeline. Okay? So for the next 60 days, you're going to this is your challenge. I see you're in the
Okay.
gym, so you like challenges, right?
yeah.
So for the next 60 days, you are going to, one, not yell and fight. You're going to learn how to like regulate your nervous system a bit better so that even if things do trigger you, you know how to calm yourself down and remove yourself from situations. And two, you're going to give him his love language, meaning you'll find genuine opportunities to express verbal appreciation, to
Okay.
lift him up so that you
Yeah.
can counteract all of the tearing him down. Do
Mhm.
that for 60 days without expecting him to do anything. Pretend like
Okay.
it's all on you for 60 days. This is not about grand gestures or anything like that. This is just consistency with the small things. Saying something loving once throughout the day, right? Or
Okay.
if he does something for you, showing a lot of appreciation for it, bigging up him and his identity, not just being gracious, but like saying I love, give him like certain qualities, like I love how thoughtful you are, right? Stuff like that. That's genuine. Don't just say it. It needs to be genuine, right?
Yeah.
60 days, do that. If after 60 days you don't see any kind of progress, you're not looking for him to be completely the same as he was last time. You're looking for progress.
Yeah.
If after 60 days you have not seen him lean in more or try to get more to their connection, I think then you'll be in a good place to end it and move on.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Another question, like, what about like us like going on like small dates? Because I know like I would want to do small dates to kind of show him that I'm like changing, but where he's at right now, I feel like he's kind of like trying to avoid that. So should I just kind of wait until he makes the first move on like trying to go on a date again?
You can ask, but communicate no pressure.
Okay.
So communicate, like ask, but listen, no pressure. If you don't feel up to that yet, I completely understand.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
No problem, Bella. You make sure to follow back up and let me know how everything goes, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, dude. You have a
Thank
good
you.
one. All right, she seems like a sweet girl. Seems like a sweet girl. Also, need your 1 hour coaching call with 2 weeks of DM support. Y'all know what time it is. 1 hour coaching call with 2 weeks of DM support. The Service Plus button, hit that at the bottom of the screen, shoot me a message. I'll ask you about your situation. And if I can help you, I will tell you how you can book your call, okay? I would tell you how you can book your call. We can do a lot more work than what you've seen in these 10 to 15 minute conversations. Okay, so you'll get an action plan, just like I just gave Bella. I gave Bella an action plan. If that was a 1 hour coaching call with Bella, we would go a lot deeper. We would show her how she can stop snapping on Buddy. I don't have enough time for that though, right? But some of the people in the chat would tell you we go very deep on these coaching calls. But yeah, be like Bella, not with the name calling. She over there writing diss records. Bella over there writing hit 'em up. Well, her man make her mad. Be like Bella in terms of taking accountability and working on the issue. Don't be so quick. Listen, this is gonna help everybody in the chat, okay? This is gonna help everybody in the chat. All right. There was a book I read a while back. It was written by a Navy SEAL. It's called Extreme Ownership. Who's read the book Extreme Ownership? 1 in the chat if you read it, 2 in the chat if you never heard of it. Okay. All right. So the premise of the book was like trying to understand how Navy SEALs were so effective, so efficient on their missions, right? And the guy who wrote, his name is Jocko Willink. Jocko Willink, I think, yeah. He was one of the head Navy SEALs, right? And he said the reason why they were so effective and why the military holds Navy SEALs up into such high regard is because of this concept called extreme ownership. What extreme ownership means is if anything goes wrong, you view it as being your fault. If anything goes wrong, you view the situation as being your fault, right? You do that because when you take extreme ownership of things, you are always improving. Now, you take that with a grain of salt. That doesn't mean that no one else shares the responsibility, right? That doesn't mean that you become a masochist and you be like a super anxious attacher and you think everything is your fault, right? But when you can flip, let's say you're in a situation, right? You're in an argument and it's 90% the other person's fault. They have 90% of the responsibility. They've contributed 90% to this negative dynamic. And you only contribute 10%. If you blame them, your 10% is unchanged. You keep that same 10% that contributed negatively to the situation. But if you take extreme ownership, if you ask yourself the question, if I did something wrong here, what might it have been? You take ownership of that 10% and you change it. And you have improved yourself in the process. That's not what people do. People blame. They externalize. It's that person's fault. It's that person's fault. Don't be that person. That person doesn't grow. That person lives a life, low quality, of quiet desperation, thinking that the world owes them something. No. Don't be the person to externalize all their problems. Take extreme ownership. In any situation, what could have I done differently there? How did I contribute to this? What is my portion of this problem that I contributed to? Let me own that. Even if it's smaller than the other person's, I'm still going to own my small percentage, right? Because then I can reflect and I can change. That's how you want to approach it. That's what Bella is doing. It will behoove a lot of you to do the same thing. You don't have to read the book. That's the premise of the book, right? It's just full of stories. But that core idea is gold if you actually apply it and live your life like that. Okay. All right. Let's see if we got any more callers. Let's bring Ruby up if she's still here. Hello. Ruby, you there? You making pizza rolls? She's not cooking. She's warming something up. Danny, I want to see what you're about to eat. Definitely sound like a Hot Pocket. It definitely sound. It was too quick. It wasn't a heavy plate. That was a napkin. She had something wrapped in a napkin. Threw that hole in the microwave. 2 minutes. I could tell by the beep. 2 minutes. Hot Pocket. She closed the microwave with a hip. Now she's grabbing the ranch dressing out the fridge. That's what's happening. I know what's going on, Ruby. Chipotle reheat. Right. All right, who else is in the queue? I don't like this guy. Hey guys, let's have fun together. That's what his bio says. Nope, won't be having no fun around here. Go ahead and take him down. All right. Why would that be your bio? Hey guys, let's have fun together. With people dancing in your bio. I don't want to have fun no more. I don't want to have fun no more. You ruined the vibe. Let's have fun together. Sounds like some shit you hear on the Wiggles. Huh? Is this the Wiggles? Let's have fun together. Is this Sesame Street? What's going on? I don't think I've ever said that phrase in my life, even as a kid. Hey guys, let's have fun together. Hey guys, let's have fun together. That is pedo language. That's you're in the windowless van. You got some candy. Hey guys. Hey kids, let's have fun together. Miles, just put him on a different spreadsheet. Put him on a list. Entitled the list Epstein. As an adult, is even more diabolical. Yes, yes. He will not be brought up. Can't bring him up. Cannot bring him up. Let's have fun together, you guys. Say what now? Did you hear the record stop? Stranger danger. We need to get Jams writing for some comedy TV show. Jams be funny as shit. Breezy Bree, where you been at? Hello. Let me see Breezy Bree in a minute. I'm gonna have a real issue that needs to be cleared up though. We can clear it up somebody else. Clear it up somewhere else, not here. By the looks of that bio, it doesn't seem like he have any issues. It seems like he is enjoying life. Jams is hilarious. And if you know what's funny about Jams, she don't put no laugh out loud. She don't put no emojis. Bars. Just straight bars. Every word earns itself on the page. I like that shit. Right? I like that. She don't waste any space. Every letter is intentional. We like those. Okay. Any more people in the queue? Afia. All right. Let's see what Afia talking about. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. What can I do for you?
So I have a small question.
Okay.
I was dating my boyfriend for like 3 months.
Okay.
And that was in person. We're in the same city.
Okay.
But then I had to go to a different city for like to finish my college degree.
Okay.
So we're like 7 hours apart. But then since he was working, I thought it would be the one to fly over and come see me. But maybe that was too early because it was like after 3 months of knowing each other when I moved to that city. So we were like long distance for like 3 more months. And then my birthday was coming up. He told me he would fly over to come see me.
Right.
But when it was close to my birthday, he said he had a business trip coming up. So he said he couldn't make it. That was like 2 years ago. And I was kind of disappointed in him. So I kind of reacted and blocked him on iMessage, social media.
Okay.
But I forgot to block him on one other, on WhatsApp. So after 2 months, he reached out to me on WhatsApp and he was like, "Oh hey, how have you been?" But then I was not in a space to talk to him. I kinda ignored him and told him to not contact me anywhere. Because back then I wasn't sure if I was going back to his city, and since he showed that he couldn't do long distance. So I thought if we cannot do long distance, then there's no point in like being together. Fast forward, I got my job in the same city, and now I was planning to go back. So I thought it made sense to continue to be together. And I told him that since now I figured out my career and it's gonna be in the same space, since you said you cannot do long distance, let's try again. So my question is, back then when I kinda stopped talking to him and he did not do anything about it, he waited 2 months to reach out, which was good, and I agree. I told him, yeah, that was a mature decision. I should have told him earlier that I wanted to take some time. And to him, he told me when we started dating again, he said we are starting over. Like right now, if I ask him like, okay, how long have we been dating? I know it's not something big, but he would say, just 1 year, like for when I went back to start my career in his own city. And one time we had an argument and he tried to block me on Instagram. So I'm like, when he reached out to me and now that we are together, I'm trying to understand why he was okay reaching out again, and he feels like maybe waiting for a moment to pay back, like block me again.
Okay, so I retained 40% of that. What's the question here, love?
The question is, because recently we had an argument and
Whoa.
he kind of almost did the same thing, like blocking me on social media.
Okay.
Even though I talked to him and he kind of unblocked me. So my question is, when he reached out to me, like right now, is he like waiting for like a good moment to pay back by doing the same thing?
Okay, so you think that he's trying to get revenge on you and just block you?
Yeah, kinda.
Okay, why do you think that?
Because when I was immature, like 2 years ago,
No, I know you did it, but why do you think that he's doing it now?
Because he tried to block me on Instagram when we had an argument, and
What do you mean
that didn't make sense to me why he would.
what do you mean
block
he
me.
he tried to block you?
Yeah, he actually blocked me, and I asked him, wait, why can't I see your Instagram story? And he was like, I blocked you. But then we resolved the issue and he unblocked me.
What was the issue about?
The issue was about him because, again, he's like on another business trip. He wasn't texting a lot. He was kind of not available. And I was asking him, why are you not replying to my messages on time. And then he was like, "Oh, you don't understand that I'm busy. I told you I'm busy with work. I don't have much time to talk to you like every day." And I was like, "But if you wanted to, you would. Like, you, at least you can say good night, good morning. You will have you can't call, but you will have time to text."
And he blocked you after you said that?
After I said that, I was like, maybe if you want, how about we take a short break, and because you're busy and you don't feel like you have enough time to be talking to me.
All right, love, you're draining. I'll be honest with you. You are very draining. Okay? You haven't really learned your lesson from what you did 2 years ago. You're still doing the same shit. What you're doing is called...
No, this time I didn't want to stop talking.
It doesn't matter. You're still saying things to get a reaction. You didn't want to take a break. You didn't go from wanting to talk to him every day to wanting to take a break. You said that just to get a reaction out of him. And he's on the business trip. No, hold on. He's on a business trip, and you're saying things to get a reaction out of him. That is you being incredibly selfish. Incredibly selfish. Someone is trying to accomplish something on a business trip, and instead of you understanding that, you're being even more draining by saying things you don't mean just to get a reaction out of it. I would have blocked you too. I almost want to block you now. I also would have blocked you. Yes, that's 100% would have blocked you.
I think I'm kind of from what you explained about anxious attachment and avoidant.
Right.
To me, I thought I was anxiously attached in that moment.
In that moment? No. You're anxious attached right now, period. This is no in that moment. You're anxiously attached, right? You didn't want to talk to him all day or test him. You were testing him to keep tabs on him. You wanted to see if he was still going to continue talking to you. You didn't miss him and need to talk to him. You just wanted to make sure he would respond to you. You were checking his level of investment, right? That's what you were doing. You were being anxiously attached. That is very draining. The level that you're at is very draining. You can be anxious and not do this. You're very anxious, right? You're one of the extreme cases of anxiousness. So you're threatening to take breaks and leave the relationship and stuff like that, even though you don't really want to, just to get a rise out of him. And he's on a business trip. He blocks you for his peace of mind because you're being draining, right? That's not a woman people choose to be with. A woman who's draining like that. Why would any man sign up for that every day? Why would they want that experience every day? Think about that. Why would they want that experience every day? They wouldn't want that.
I think when I suggest that, I was thinking from his perspective.
No, you weren't. You were thinking from your perspective. You weren't because you didn't need to.
For him, he needed more time.
No, if you were thinking, because right now you're even not being honest with yourself. If you thought he really needed time to be on his business trip, the easy solution would be to stop trying to talk to him all day. Not say, let's take a break in the relationship. No, you were being manipulative in that situation. Unconsciously. I don't think you were trying to be manipulative, but you were being manipulative because you were trying to get a reaction out of him. So you weren't thinking about him at all. You were thinking about what you wanted. That's it. That's all that was on your mind, is what you wanted. And that ain't a partnership. Partnership is you also considering the other person. And you also expect them to consider you as well. I'm not saying he's perfect, right? We're talking to you right now.
Yeah.
If he called in, I probably would say something different to him. So I'm not saying he's perfect in this connection. You're the only problem. What I am saying is this is your part of the problem. Back to the extreme ownership point that I was making. This is how you're contributing negatively to the dynamic. This is very, very draining, love. And this is not something that anyone in their right mind will sign up for, especially no quality person. They will look at this situation and be like, fuck out of here with that. I'd rather be single. That ain't fun. This isn't even a good challenge where we can grow from it. This is just annoying, right? So this is the good thing is this
I
is.
think you're right.
Right, and
you're
that's
right
good.
about that.
This is good that you're acknowledging that. That gives me peace of mind knowing that, or certainty that you actually can grow from this, right? Because you don't have to be this way. You can grow. You can heal this part of yourself that needs this type of attention, and
Definitely. Yeah.
develop more, right? So it's not, this isn't you, okay? So let me be clear. We're not saying Afia is a problem. We're saying this behavior is a problem. This behavior can change. It just takes you reflecting and learning how to do so. Once you change this behavior and replace it with better behavior, now magically you're a great person to be with. So don't think I'm saying that
So,
you yourself are a problem. It is the behavior that you're engaging in that is the problem. Go ahead.
so my question is, I agree that that was not something good to do to my partner, but at the same time, because from like the time I've been with him,
Right.
I would say he might be like an avoidant.
Okay.
And in that case, when I have explained to him that like when you go away or we're like in a like not in the same space, and you are like not consistently, like you're not consistent with your communication, and
Right.
that kind of triggers my anxious actions
Right.
from my end or from his end. For someone who's like anxiously attached, I mean, you know that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if he's not gonna stop doing that, if he's not gonna communicate in a way that I want,
Mm-hmm.
then as me, like in that case, instead of taking a break, what's like a better way to go about it?
I will tell you this. It's not great for anxiously attached people to be in relationships with avoidantly attached people. It's you playing the game on hard mode, right? What makes you think that he's avoidant?
Because he keeps bringing the word peace of mind. Because whenever I communicate, sometimes he's like, I want you to, sometimes I need my time to like regain my energy, and I want you to provide me peace instead of like telling me, oh, this is wrong, you should do better on this matter in terms of communication.
Okay. That doesn't necessarily mean avoidant. Just because somebody needs their own space. I hear what you're saying. Avoidant people do like to use the word peace a lot, but in what you're describing, you really are disturbing the peace. You really are disturbing the peace the way that you're showing up, right? So nobody wants to, and this is again with anxious attachment. This is again for the anxious attachments in the chat. The receiving end of dealing with someone with anxious attachment is it's a lot of complaints. It's a lot of complaints, right? This is again the draining part of it. You have to couple that with praise, with positivity. If there's always a long conversation we need to have about how somebody's dropping the ball, that shit gets annoying after a while. So you have to be able to keep a handle on that and understand this from another person's perspective. Outside of your anxious mind, look at how it's being received. On the receiving end of that, the person feels like they're constantly being torn down and criticized because your brain only finds problems. It ignores the positive things. It ignores the things that are going right, and it fixates on what's going wrong. And you only want to talk about what's going wrong because you want to talk about the thing that's causing you anxiety. But on the receiving end of that, it's like you keep complaining about shit, and that's going to tear anyone down over time. Okay? So it's going to be hard for you to do this if you're with an avoidantly attached person, because if he's avoidantly attached, he's probably going to be unwilling to change. That means all the change is on your shoulders. You may not have the capacity for that right now. You may not have the capacity to work on your triggers with the precise type of person who's going to trigger you more than any other individual. Again, that's if he is avoidant. You haven't proven to me that he is yet. You've just proven to me that he's a person who is tired of being criticized, wants a little bit of solitude to recharge his batteries, and is not the best communicator in terms of volume of messages, right? So
I think so.
Go ahead.
From from like the live before, you said for people who are like anxiously attached, sometimes you need to find hobbies like things you want to do to occupy you outside the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was one thing I realized like at the beginning because that was last year when we got together in the same city, and I was new. Of course, I was kind of, being dependent on him, but like over time I realized that was an issue. So I found hobbies and created my own community, my own friends that like I do other things like hobbies that I like to do with. But still at the same time, I feel like even with like having friends and other hobbies I spend my time on,
Mm-hmm.
it still triggers me if he's away and he's like no communicating consistently.
Right. So your need for communication, that's why I say you're fighting an uphill battle. Your complaint likely isn't wrong. He probably is not communicating in an effective way per anybody's standards, let alone an anxiously attached person. This is why the avoidant people are the hardest person for anxious attached people to heal with, because you're going to get triggered so much. You're with the perfect person who's going to trigger you. Again, if he is avoidant. I'm not saying he is, right? But yeah, if you're going to be with someone who is going to constantly not even attempt to meet any of your needs, you're going to be anxious. A secure person would be anxious. I thought that I was more anxious than I really was because I was in a relationship with a fearful avoidant who leaned avoidant. So it might as well be an avoidant, right? So I was with someone who triggered me a lot. And I was like, I think I am anxious. Then when I got out of that, I was like, I'm nowhere near as anxious as I thought. I just was with a person who brought more of that out of me, right? So that's probably the situation that you're in. That doesn't mean you don't have a lot of work to do. You do. But if you're with someone who truly is not communicating and they're going on frequent business trips, that might just be an inherent incompatibility. This may not be the best person to heal this thing with. I'm not telling you to leave the relationship. I'm just telling you this is just food for thought, right? If that's going to be, if he's like literally not even going to attempt to hear you out, right? And put some effort there. I'm not saying be perfect, but at least try to hear you and switch his behavior, then this might not be a good person to be with, love.
Yeah. I think definitely in other areas he's like a good person. Like if I tell him to like do this, like plan to go for a dinner date, he's gonna be like showing up. And also when we're like in the same space, he's going to be like attentive to me. It just only happens if we're like not in the same space.
Right.
I don't know if you remember me, but like I also called about the same situation a while ago about he's the one who likes to watch anime. I don't know if you remember about that.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, so I think for me, he lets me be the leader of the relationship. Like most of the times, I'm the one to tell him, okay, this is what we want to do. This is what we want to like, this is how I want you to communicate. Like I tell him what I want from the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, sometimes he tries to be understanding and do it. For example, my hobbies, when I want him to explore my hobbies, because his only hobby that I know is like watching anime. But me, I like hiking, I like to skydiving, like I like to do other things.
I remember this call now.
Dancing.
Okay,
Yeah.
I remember this call. Okay. Yeah, you probably should definitely leave this one. What did I tell you the first time you called in? What advice did I give you?
You told me to find people to do my things, like to do my hobbies with. Like not necessarily him, which is what I've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have my own friends to do my hobbies with.
Right.
But still at the same time, it's kind of fun and enjoyable when he like shows up in those hobbies when he can.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that he still lets me be the one to decide what to do.
Okay, so he's passive as well.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What do you like about this person?
I like how he's very supportive
Okay.
and he understands me at some level. Because I know, of course, I'm someone who's anxiously attached. I like have a lot of needs.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like at some level, on average, he kind of understands me as a person and tries to meet me where I am. It's just like for him, he doesn't ask too much from me. Like he does not tell me, okay, this is what I want more from you. He just listens to what I want and tries to give me, but like I want him to also be like, okay, I don't think that is why. I think I want to be treated this way in a relationship to be happy. You know what I mean?
Right. So he's kind of conflict avoidant.
No, me, I'm anxious, I think.
No, you said that he doesn't really stick up, like ask for what he wants in the relationship. He's kind of
Yeah.
like gives you what
Yeah.
you want.
So yeah, I wonder if there is like lack of interest or if he's just happy for my presence and that's it.
No, he's just conflict avoidant.
Can you ask me what that means again?
He doesn't like conflict, so he avoids it.
Like
He doesn't speak up for his own needs because he doesn't want there to be any kind of fight. So he just doesn't say anything. He's resenting you though, for sure.
he is, yeah, that's what would come to my mind because
Yeah, people who are conflict avoidant always resent you. Always. People think like, oh, this person's great. They don't complain about anything. Yeah, they just don't verbally complain. They don't like
so
you.
at what point did you find out you're like being too much or
You passed that point. What do you mean too much? You've been too much for quite some time.
I think I could say so. Like that's how I actually feel. I feel like since I constantly tell him I'm being too much, but at the same time he doesn't tell me that I'm being too much.
Got you. Yeah.
And I want to do better. Like I want us to be on a balance. Like I don't want to be the one being too much, asking for too much. I want to meet him at his like
Okay.
level
But
too.
here's the thing though, love, because I think you're not hearing me for real. You can't control this connection. There's a whole nother party here, whole nother person with their own free will. It is not only you don't make or break the relationship. Well, you can break it, but you certainly can't make it.
Mm.
You
Okay.
need his buy-in for that and his energy and effort and intentionality. And if he is unwilling to give it, then you might as well move on to greener pastures.
So your advice would be to consider this as a big incompatibility and find somebody else.
Yeah, I would say consider it, sleep on it. I'm not telling you what to do, but it doesn't sound like a great connection to me. Does it sound like a great connection to you?
I don't know. To me, I know at the back of my head there's like incompatibility, but also at the same time, I'm like, okay, we've been together for 2 years. I'm like very comfortable with you. And I think with time, you'll keep doing better and better. And then I keep hoping that one day it's gonna be better at everything I ask for.
Right. Well, I hope that day comes, love, but I wouldn't bet on it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, no problem, love. You take care. All right. No more calls. No more calls. What stage y'all think she's in? Let's quiz the chat real quick. Stage 1 through 4. What stage is she? What stage is she? Why are we getting negative ones? Seen a lot of stage 1s, a few stage 2. Yes. Why do y'all think she's stage 1? If she's stage 1, why do you think she's stage 1? If you think she's stage 2, why do you think she's stage 2? Express, where you been at? You don't know about the stages? I'm disappointed, love. Where you been? Where you been? Hiatus. You think she's stage 1, why? If you think she's stage 2, why? Okay, because she's reactive. She's not listening and stuck in her ways, not accepting her behavior. Okay. I think she's stage 1 transitioning to stage 2. Here's the interesting thing about stage 1. They don't really see you as a person. Stage 1 people see you as they see what you do for them, how you make them feel. They don't see you as a separate entity. You're either a source of supply or a source of activation. And that's how she views him. He's not a separate person, his own entity. He's a source of feelings. But he fully supports her financially. Probably. This isn't a judgment on her. This is just for y'all. Because she's here asking questions and she's taking accountability. She's attempting to see herself the best that she knows how. So it's not anything against her at all. She's here trying to learn like everybody else, and let's not be harsh on her. But for learning's sake, stage 1. Stage 1 people see their relationship partners as a source of supply or activation. Right? But she's on her way to stage 2, where she's actually being thoughtful about her behavior. She's actually being thoughtful about how she reacts. And she's not perfect with it. She's still messy, but you can see that she's trying, right? She's trying. So she'll be okay. Because like Bella, she's here. She's trying to learn. She's trying to, even when I was, being a little, straightforward, she took it with grace. She wasn't, she didn't get offended. She didn't try to fight back or anything like that. So yeah, she's doing good. She'll be fine. So be careful with the judgment because she might pass you. Careful with the judgments because she might pass you. All right. So she's on her way to stage 2. Okay. So I believe in her. I don't think this relationship is going to work though. I don't really see. When you're at the higher you move up the stages, the more you actually choose somebody. When you're stage 1, you're not choosing someone. Not consciously. You're going off of feeling. Right? That's why stage 1 people can easily get into relationships because they're just getting with people based on a feeling. They're not thinking about compatibility at all. Right? Stage 2 person is getting with their mirror. Okay? The stage 2 person is getting with their mirror. Someone who triggers their wounds. Stage 3 person is where people actually start consciously choosing. Stage 3 person, you actually start vetting. And the same thing with stage 4 to a higher degree. So if I'm talking to someone who's stage 1, I can automatically probably assume the person they're with, they're not compatible with. I could just assume that's not the case. No compatibility here. There's just feeling. And you're with the person who generates the feelings that you want to have. You know what the tell is for a stage 1 person? Is what happens when the other person is being ordinary, when they live in mundane life, right? When the other person is not being exciting, not pursuing, not providing supply, they're just existing normally. The stage 1 person will either lose interest or get very anxious with that person. So let's reflect back on that situation. She don't like the anime because the anime is boring. She don't want to watch anime with him because it's boring. AKA, I'm not getting supply when you're watching anime. So now anime is a problem. I need you to go hiking with me because then I'm generating supply. She cannot be with him in the mundane. It's another reason why you know this is a stage 1 connection. It's actually a test for people. That's like a vetting test. Can you be with them in like a mundane situation where things don't have to be stimulating? Can you be with them in a boring environment? Can you be bored with them? Do you think the business trip thing is about trust? Sure. Yeah. Well, not necessarily. She didn't say anything about trust. She didn't say anything about like him doing something that she was suspicious of. This is about her not getting her supply. He's her supply. He's her supply. So when he's not there, she's not getting her supply. So she's like, I need you to talk to me so I get my supply. So she texts trying to get her supply, and then he takes a long time to respond. So she doesn't get her fix. So she gets annoyed and she engages in the protest behavior to get her supply. The whole we should take a break was a threat to get him to get on her program so she can get more supply. It wasn't a genuine expression. I'm nervous to give my update here. You have to give it in the chat, brother, Pierre, because I'm not taking any more calls. But yeah, what is your update? What is your update, big dog? You got back with Shorty? You texted her until she responded? She's like, what, Pierre? Gosh. Okay, I'll give you some cheeks. I guess. Here's the cheeks you wanted. Is that what happened? She called you. She called you and said what, bro? What did she say? What did she say when she called you? We are all very invested in the story of Pierre. What did she call and say? We met and had a long conversation. Okay? About what? Need you moving them thumbs faster than that, big dog. It took you a long time to send a sentence. Come on, man. Did the opposite of what Coach said to do. Right. We're human, Mary. We're human. It's hard for me to turn down fine shit, you know? She said she was really sick. Okay. Pierre, I need you to use all the characters in that the chat will give you. Anticipate what the question, when you're generating your response, anticipate what my follow-up question will be and then answer that too. No, I'm not taking any more calls. I'm not requesting that. Hey, Pierre, waiting on you, big dog. Talk to me. But tomorrow, okay, Pierre, I've lost all interest now. But tomorrow maybe what, bro? Ah, but we very much back together. All right, Pierre, if you want, bro, it's your funeral. It's your funeral. Don't like it. I don't like it at all. But you live and you learn. Sometimes you gotta go through your experience of giving a beautiful woman way too many chances so that you learn to never do that again. That beauty don't mean shit. It is a commodity. You can get one beautiful woman. You get a lot of them. He has no shame. He's a lover boy, right? Pierre is a regular customer on Coach Live. You're right, she was accountable, so I gave us a chance. Already using words like us, huh? The hotter they are, the more insane they are? Not necessarily. I think that's more true than it is false. Zion, I done dated some beautiful women, bro. Let me tell you something. Not to toot my own horn, but I would put my lineup against anyone but Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon definitely. Not fucking with Nick Cannon's lineup. Where can someone read more about the stages in relationships? I'm glad you asked, Sophia. Well, that's my concept. Can't read it anywhere because I came up with it. So, if you want to learn more about that, you can schedule your 1-hour coaching call. It comes with 2 weeks of DM support. All you do is hit this button. See this thing right here, this icon? It's a Service Plus button. It's at the bottom of the screen. Hit that, shoot me a message. I'll ask you about your situation and if I can help. I will send you the link where you can book your call. Okay? I love when people ask me that question. Where can we learn more about that? Well, you can't because it doesn't exist anywhere. So, get the coaching call, right? But yeah, there's truth to like beautiful women being insane, but not all of them. A lot of them, though. Why is that? I wonder. I haven't cracked that one yet. I've cracked the whole why nurses typically have a 304 pattern, we shall say. Why are beautiful women batshit insane? I'm getting the answer right now. It's downloading. I got it. They're not more insane than any other woman. You give them more chances, therefore you deal with them longer and attachment forms. So you literally are with them longer to see more insane behavior. And because they're beautiful, you also remember beautiful women more than other women. So you've probably seen crazy behavior with other women, but because the beautiful woman is more memorable, you remember hers more. I at least have a hypothesis. It's a working hypothesis I just came up with. But I'm pretty sure it's accurate. Pretty sure. I only dated one crazy woman. I've been dating a lot of them. How do you feel about the Clay and Meg situation? I don't really care, to be honest with you. I'm not even trying to be that guy. Like, who cares about celebrities? I couldn't care less about the Clay and Meg situation. Don't know much about either one of them, to be honest with you. I know Meg got the yammies on her. Got the yammies. Couldn't tell you a lyric. I know what that ass looks like. I recognize them cheeks from the lineup. That's Meg right there. Number 3, that's Meg. Right? Right. That's Meg. Who's this? Number 3 is Meg. How do you forget someone? What do you mean? How do you forget someone? Elaborate. You mean like how do you forget someone you dated? Or you mean like in general? Like an ex. Well, one hack is to have ADHD. That's the most beautiful thing about having ADHD, man. Out of sight, out of mind. If things ever end with anyone, I just know I have to mute them on social media. And within a couple weeks, 2 weeks, I'm over it. Almost like it didn't happen. Listen to me. I was with my ex for 8 years. It's the weirdest thing. It's almost like I wasn't. Do you understand? Do you ever miss your ex? Not really. Not really. But it's almost like I was not in there. Like I have to remember it sometimes. Like I know intellectually. But it's like, I'm so grateful for that. Oh my God. So grateful. Now, for that, it did take a long time. Because 8 years. So it took a long time to get there. But for anyone now, if I date you for like 3, 6 months, something like that, give me a couple weeks without seeing you. And it'll be gone. It'll be gone. Not that big a deal. Do you not come in contact with her for your child? Sure, yeah. Not often. It's more of a text thing at this point. It's been a while. I saw her at a piano recital for my son. About a month ago? Yeah. That was fine. Other than that, it's text. But for other women I've dated who I've connected with, does it not trigger anything? No, because I've processed that. So it doesn't trigger. Doesn't do much triggering at this point. It did. It used to. Not now. Certainly not now. Wait, you have kids? I have one son. 9-year-old. Just one. More to come. The world needs more of me. I must procreate. Gotta be fruitful and multiply, you know? Anyway, back to the question. How do you forget someone? You can't forget someone, right? You want like a blunt force trauma? When they knock you over the head like it's a sitcom? So you can forget your ex. It doesn't work like that. But you do have to stop seeing reminders, right? So not following them on social media, not looking at pictures, not reviewing old text message threads. Not looking at love notes or anything like that. How do you get over a work crush? What do you mean a work crush? Were you cracking this work crush? How are you defining crush? I'm hoping you're defining crush the way I would define crush. Is this someone that you actively dealt with? I pray to God it's someone you've actually dealt with. My apologies, Mary. I thought you were one of us. All right. Get it now. You're a lady. Here's the thing. Yes, I get the issue now. I was talking to you like that because I thought this was a different situation. Okay. God like a work and never spoke to. All right. So, are you still seeing him a lot? Jams said put in your 2 weeks. Jams again with the heat. You're seeing him a lot. All right. Why have you not talked to him? I'm curious. Why not talk to him? I'm scared he'll start a rumor. What rumor? Why are you scared he'll start a rumor? What rumor would he start? She's just a girl, that's why. At work, you can talk to somebody. You got plausible deniability. I'm not saying go up to him and try to get his number. I mean, like, why have you not talked to him? He's scared of rejection. Okay. Okay. But talking to him is not rejection. You're starting a conversation. You're in New York, right? Compliment him on his Timbs. Where'd you get them Timbs? Yo, son, where'd you get them Timbs at, B? Let's talk to him in his lingo, in y'all language. In y'all New York language. I'm also nervous around them. What do y'all do for work? What do y'all do for work? I'm curious. Media and advertising. Okay. He's flamboyant. Appreciate you, Azul. He is handsome. That wasn't a no. All right. It's a handsome, flamboyant fellow. Okay. Well, Mir, you have the perfect costume. If I looked like you, I would just walk up on him in the men's bathroom. I would use your aesthetic to go in the men's bathroom and hit on him. Just pop up at the urinal. Don't take nothing out. Just stand by the urinal. You'll fit right in. And then try to talk to him there. Have you tried that? No one's going to question you. Everyone's going to assume you also have your meat out pissing in the urinal. So when you do that, just talk to him, love. Just talk to him. See what happens. That sounds stalkerish. I mean, if the shoe fits, Mary, if the Tim fits, if the Timberland boot fits, you are on the live talking about a person you never talked to before. So if the Timberland boot fits, I would just go ahead and own that stalker energy. To be honest with you, I mean, it's cool being a stalker. Just be a pleasant one. Yeah, they said asking for help. So asking for help flushing the urinal. I'm not used to these urinals. Last job I had didn't have urinals like this. How do I flush this urinal, big dog? I got you, big dog. I got you, chief. By the way, what's your name, man? I always like the name of people who flush the urinals for me. He's like, I'm John. Oh, okay. Nice, John. I'm Marie. Marie? That's a girl's name. Well, John, about that. That's when you just take off, you just drop the pants. No meat. Ta-da, no meat. Thing is, John, I didn't need your help. I never used the bathroom. Came here for you. Then try that and then come back and give me an update. Try all of that and come back and give me an update. I have a good feeling it's going to work out for you. I have a good feeling it's going to work out for you. Definitely update us. Make sure to go to the barber first. Some of you already go. Get that fresh line up, that dark Caesar. Get that. I'm sure you already got on boxer briefs. Wear those as well. It's going to go swimmingly. All right. Any more last second questions before I get off of here? Express restraining order. Any more last second questions before I get out of here? Nope. All right. So, if you're new here, make sure to follow. I go live daily. I'll be live again tomorrow at noon Eastern time. If you need a 1-hour coaching call, a Service Plus button, hit at the bottom of the screen. Shoot me a message. I'll ask you about your situation. If I can help you, I'll tell you how to book your call. Okay. Again, it comes with 2 weeks of DM support. All right. Appreciate the mods. Appreciate the chat. I will see you all tomorrow. Y'all take care. All right, YouTube. Behind the scenes for YouTube, the reason why I called her a boy at the end there is because she was trying to be funny in the chat. People don't understand. I used to be a comedian, so you joke with me,